So I'm here today with Claire Fairley. Claire Fairley is has been a teacher in the past and is a coach now. So I'd like to introduce Claire from Kaleidoscope Coaching. Good afternoon. How are you?
Hi, Trish. Well, thank you. Thanks for the introduction. Yes, I'm now a parent support coach. So from all the years where I used to look at the children having meltdowns or needing assistance and support from a teacher's perspective and just think, oh, shouldn't we maybe be looking at helping the mum or the dad and seeing a bigger picture? I'm now transferred my teaching skills and I support those parents now. So it's a different calling, but uses all that experience.
Okay, lovely. Thank you. So you're working alongside parents and supporting them. Is it at all times throughout the school year, or is there specific times when you find that you've got more people asking for help?
It's strange. You'll get, if there's something like SATs going on, you quite often get people asking for a little bit of advice then. And then I think I'm always expecting something in the holidays. I'm expecting people to think, oh, I can put that load down for a while and I might just get some help in before I pick it back up again. And I think it tends to get left. And then they're starting the next year and they're like, oh gosh, I haven't made time for it. The change from year 6 to year 7 is a little different. I think parents are really more acutely aware of the enormity of that change. And especially if your child happens to be anxious, the idea of how am I going to support my child without over supporting them or underplaying it? How can I support them to be more independent, but also for my own peace of mind, know that they're safe and happy?
So, yeah, absolutely. So I imagine with your experience as a year 6 teacher and as a parent who's no doubt had to go through that as well, and all the coaching skills, you're placed really, really well to help and support parents in that way.
Well, I hope so. I like to think so. The main thing is that parents understand what I'm doing is supporting them in the decisions that they want to make with a view to their own unique circumstances. It's not a judgmental thing. The last thing anyone who's already stressed about how they're managing their children in school, the last thing they need is the feeling that somebody else is going to pile in or roll their eyes or have an opinion. What they need is someone who will support them so that when they have the confidence to just ask for that time out, they'll get that time and it's just for them. And if you want to talk about your child, then go ahead. And if you just want to talk about your priorities and getting your ducks in a row, that's fine too. Because that inevitably, if the parent is feeling better, then the family runs better. And it's inclusive, it's not just the one child who needs the most help. It's all the children and the partner or the husband or the wife and the in-laws and granny who does a lot of the childcare. It's everybody. So I think it's just got a more rounded view. Yeah, it's valuable from that perspective.
It's so lovely to hear because I think often parents can feel that they're on their own, and like you say, there's always a judgment. There's almost judgments been made about them, particularly if they've got a child, like you say, with anxiety or who's struggling in any way. They feel like everyone's thinking, oh, you're not doing your job, but you're there on their side supporting them.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing is that if you are a parent of a child who's got special needs or just highly anxious or nervous, you kind of set to defend them. It's very easy to be defensive. So I respect to the parents that come to me who've been able to see past that and think, actually, I need someone I can trust to talk to. And you become very careful about who you trust and who you talk to. So it's quite nice for them if they just go, that's okay, I know I'm in safe hands and this will go no further. And I can say the stuff I might not be comfortable to say to a friend on the playground or a teacher in school, because there's nothing riding on it from my point of view. I'm just helping you make a plan.
And I know that you are, and I can imagine you're a very, very safe pair of hands for people. They feel very supported by you.
Well, thank you.
You mentioned the year 6 to year 7 transition. Now, I do believe that you have a little tool that can possibly help parents, a nice new idea that can help parents to open up that conversation with their children about moving on to secondary school.
I do. It's a classic. It's good for teachers as well if they're thinking about change. It's the classic little fortune teller.
Okay.
And what we have in this particular one is the 8 most common questions that come up when children are changing from year 6 to year 7. So it's things like, I'll read one of them. How will I find my way around? I think that's probably the top one. You know, I'm scared of getting lost. And then we have that conversation. And if you have it in a classroom, you have it, and other children will chime in and say, or there'll be a map, or there'll be someone you can ask, or make sure you've got a friend and you buddy up between lessons and you'll get used to walking from A to B. And if you're at home and you ask that question, not only do you talk it through with your parents, but they then realize, oh, I didn't know you were worrying about that.
Yes.
You know, I didn't know that that was even an issue. Or there's one in here that, what does the bell mean? Actually, the bell at your senior school might be different from the one that you had at your primary school, and it might mean a different thing. It might mean end of lesson, start of the next lesson. And it may be that actually some of the stuff your children have picked up on their transition days, their familiarization days, they might know more than you as a parent realize they know. Or there might be things that you didn't know they didn't know.
Absolutely.
You know? And then you're like, well, what's the phone policy? Those are changing these days. There's a little bit of pushback on that, and some of the high schools have changed their policies. So if you don't know and your child doesn't know, how can you find out? And then you can do that together. You jump on the portal or the website and you go, right, let's find out, or who can we ask?
It's such a simple idea. And absolutely lovely, because it's so important to have those conversations. But I think parents have said in the past to me as well, it's really difficult to know how to begin it. So that's a really simple tool. It's a fun activity. You can do it after dinner, and then these questions come up, like you say, that you didn't know what they didn't know.
Yeah, and your children, by the time they leave year 6, they are experts at primary school. They are absolutely experts, usually at one primary school, maybe a couple.
Yes.
And that's part of their thing in year 6. They're like walking around, absolutely top of the walk. They know everything, you know, they're too cool for school. But they're about to drop to the bottom of the food chain and work their way back up again. It's good to know what they know and what they don't know, and what your plans are to support them. Even if it's I'm going to put you on the train, and someone, you know, somebody else's mum's going to meet you at the other end, and you and your friend are going to catch the train to school in the summer holidays as a trial with nothing riding on it.
Yes. And I suppose they're so used to parents just doing everything for them and making all the decisions. And now you're saying you're involving the child in this thinking process and these decisions that need to be made. So, but thank you so much for sharing your tool with us.
It's okay.
Can you hold it up and show us how it's made, if you like? So
yeah, so this is it in working order. And actually, there's nothing to stop your child having it in the passenger seat of the car and asking you the questions. You know, a car conversations are nice shoulder to shoulder rather than face to face, and the whole thing unfolds. I mean, it might be a few years since you made one, but the children pretty much, I think it just gets handed down by osmosis.
They know how to do
it. All the questions are in there.
Okay, that's helpful.
And it just folds down and makes a little fortune teller.
Brilliant. The simple ideas are often the best ones, aren't they?
It feels like play, and I think that's half the thing. It feels like a game.
Yeah, no, lovely. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for sharing your years of experience with us, and some lovely coaching tips and tools. And like you say, I think they're going to be helpful for parents and for teachers as well, you know, who have children who have anxiety. So thank you very, very much.
You're very welcome. Just keep the kaleidoscope in mind.
Thank you.
Thanks, Trish. Bye.
Bye.